And for the Pledge of Allegiance of the American flag, remain standing for our invocation given tonight by Councilor Boone.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray with me, please. God, you're good. We just take a minute to think about that. Thank you for your presence here tonight. Thank you for the privilege of governing where we vote, where we live in a democracy, where there are still some choices left up to the people in this country. I pray that we'll take these choices seriously as we go into election time, Lord, that you will just raise up your next leader for this country, for this city, for this county. Bless us as we do business tonight, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, we call the roll.
Counselor Striplin. Here. Counselor Wood.
Here.
Counselor Brown.
Here.
Counselor Starnes.
Here.
Counselor Whiteside.
Here.
Counselor Bowles. Here. Counselor Boone.
Here.
We call this meeting to order. Character trait of the month is sincerity, doing what is right with transparent motives. It's our character trait for the month, sincerity. This time we have approval of minutes, City Council meeting April 19, 2016. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of approval of those minutes signify by raising your right hand. And those minutes have been approved. At this time, we have comments from persons present regarding tonight's agenda. Anyone wishing to speak on any item on tonight's agenda, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we'll go into our agenda. We do have a consent agenda to consider tonight. We have 8 items on the consent agenda to consider. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry. I apologize. Mayor, you have a report? Yes.
Chief Brown come up. And while he's making his way up, May 4th is Firefighter Appreciation Day, which is tomorrow, and I'd just like to present him since you allowed me the opportunity up here. But Chief Brown has been with us for a few years now, and he has done an excellent job in his role and has really exemplified exactly what I think a fire chief is. I just want to say thank you for all of that. Thank you for being a friend of the city of Prattville. But this proclamation, it's whereas firefighters have been a part of the American scene since earliest colonial days, and whereas from the bucket brigades of colonial America, and we are far past the bucket brigades. We have progressed to the modern fire departments and modern firefighting equipment of today, whereas fire hazards have more than kept with our advanced technology and social progress, and the American firefighter today must meet the challenge of fires caused by numerous new chemicals, explosive, combustible fibers, and other dangerous materials. Firefighters must be prepared to fight fires in crowded cities and giant buildings, as well in remote rural communities. Those duties are often performed at great personal risk sacrifice, whereas the services of firefighters are among the first to be sought in other emergency situations, whether to rescue a stranded child or to give aid, comfort to victims of a flood, hurricane, or other disaster. American firefighter stands ready to serve his or her community night and day, whereas President Lyndon B. Johnson desired to provide the people of this nation a special opportunity to express their heartfelt gratitude for the contributions which our firefighters so generously bestowed upon us. The Congress, by joint resolution, approved May 4th to be designated as a day of recognition of the personal sacrifices and devotion to duty of firefighters in the United States of America. Now, therefore, the City of Prattville do hereby recognize May 4th, 2016 as a day of recognition for firefighters in the City of Prattville, and urge the residents of Prattville to observe this day with appropriate ceremonies in honor of our firefighters, both career and volunteer, who by faithful and dedicated service to communities are safeguarding the lives and property of their fellow Americans. Chief Brown, if you will accept this and have any comments for us, I do appreciate it. Appreciate your friendship also. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for what you do.
Thank you for that point of privilege. It's I know May 4th is tomorrow, and I'm just so glad we were able to do this tonight. But Counselors, you know, we have a multitude of out-of-town guests in our lovely town. In case you haven't noticed, the LPGA is back. First official round is this Thursday. Whether you're uptown or downtown, our hotels, eateries, and activities are in high demand. Before I move on, I just have a little FYI as a did you know? And you know, it's been approximately 15 years since the first pro golfers came to town. And did you know the lodging taxes, what they might have been in the year 2000 here in the city of Prattville? Well, they're $430,000. Our lodging taxes are now $1,289,000 in 2015. Our sales tax revenue was at $6.4 million in 2000 and hits $20.9 million in 2015. Not bad for a $6 million investment when it comes to RTJ. What say you, Mr. Wood? Because I know you were the only one sitting up here that was here at that point in time. But for more financial information, please contact check with our city website. You know, also, if you've been moving around Prattville, you've been seeing some paving projects, and thank you for everybody who had anything to do getting Cherry Drive, because it has blacktop on it. I know Denise Brown, Councilor Brown from District 3 is very glad of that also. But be cautious around Fire Station 1. Main Street is being widened and paved from there to Shady Oak. Councilors, I want to thank you for the funding. Robbie Anderson and Joel Duke, thank you for pushing these projects through MPO and helping to make them happen. On tonight's agenda, I want to commend this elected body for the future planning of our vital infrastructure in resolution number 2. The widening of the remainder of McQueen Smith is and has been talked about for some time. Thank you for considering this tonight. Passing this item is one of so many future steps to move this project closer to reality. And as you know, and I'm pleased to share this comes at zero net cost to the city. This council approves this. Tomorrow evening, we'll observe the National Day of Prayer at 6:30 p.m. at First Baptist Church. I hope you all join me there. Next weekend, the Prattville Area Chamber of Commerce will hold their 30th annual City Fest. We're proud to celebrate this milestone with them. Tip Tops will perform at the Street Dance on Friday night, May 13th on Court Street. And join us all day Saturday in historic downtown for food, family, and fun. Mr. President, end of my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments or questions for the mayor at this time? Thank you, Mayor. This time we have a report from the Council on Special Committees. Councilor Strickland.
No, sir.
Councilor Brown.
Yes, sir. The Street Committee met on Thursday, April the 28th. We heard from the City Attorney regarding our sidewalk ordinance with respect to liability and insurance and how it affects our insurance rates, our insurability, and our overall health as a city. We also received an update on our ongoing and future projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Starnes.
No, sir.
Councilor Whiteside.
No, sir.
Councilor Bowles.
No, sir.
Councilor Boone.
No, sir.
Before we go into that consent agenda, let me also add, as a part of that street committee, we discussed Gardner Road. Mostly everyone know Gardner Road leads to the high school, and then it's washed out again. I just want to emphasize to the administration and to the bodies to be the engineer to really look at a permanent repair, as soon as possible for Gardner Road with this last washout. Thank you. We do have a consent agenda. We have 8 items to consider on the consent agenda. Number 1 is a resolution to grant retail beer on and off premises and retail table wine on and off premises license to Otago Creek Craft House doing business at Otago Creek Craft House, LLC. Number 2 is a resolution to grant a retail beer on and off premises and retail table wine on or off premises license to Prattville Wharf Express doing business as Prattville Wharf Express, LLC. Number 3 is a resolution to authorize the mayor to have various weeded lots abated per Title 11, Chapter 67 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended. Number 4 is a resolution to declare various weeded lots to be a public nuisance, order their abatement, and set a public hearing per Title 11, Chapter 67 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended. Number 5 is a resolution to recognize 2016 as the Year of Economic Developer, as designated by the International Economic Development Council, IEDC. Number 6 is a resolution to authorize the mayor to issue certificates as required by Section 147 of the Internal Revenue Code for Prattville Christian Academy Incorporated upon the delivery of special opinion and indemnity letter to the city. Number 7 is a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into agreement with the Otago County Commission to lease the DS-200 electronic vote tabulators and the Automark 80A compliant ballot marking devices for use in the 2016 municipal elections. Number 8 is a resolution to accept maintenance of Brookstone subdivision plats 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and Greystone subdivision plat number 2. Do we have a motion to place these 8 items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of placing these items on the consent agenda signify by raising your right hand. And these items have been placed on the consent agenda. We have a motion to adopt. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Will be any discussion on any of these 8 items? All in favor of adoption signify by raising your right hand. And the consent agenda has been adopted. We move further into our agenda. Item number 1 is a resolution to amend the FY 2016 Debt Service Fund budget and to authorize the release of funds to call the 2006 B EDI warrant in the amount of $495,000. Councilor Strickland, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas the 2006 B EDI warrant was used to finance the Bass Pro and High Point infrastructure and land, and whereas a 30-day notice is required to pay the balance due, and the 2006 B EDI warrant became callable on May 1st, 2016, and whereas the City Council desires to pay the existing 2006 B EDI warrant balance, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the FY 2016 debt reserves are hereby decreased by $495,000, and that FY 2016 debt service fund / 2006 B GO EDI principal is hereby increased by $495,000. Be it further resolved that the Finance Director is authorized to pay the remaining balance of $495,000 for the 2006 B EDI warrant, and said funds are approved and appropriated from the fiscal year 2016 budget line item Debt Service Fund / 2006 B GO EDI principal. So move, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? We have a second. Will it be any discussion on this item? Councilor Bowles.
Doug, are we paying this through the 1 cent sales tax? And it knocks out another $500,000? And are we paying this off early? Thank you.
Any others? All in favor of adoption signify by raising your right hand. And this resolution is adopted. Next resolution is authorize the mayor to enter into agreement with Volkert and Associates Incorporated to provide preliminary and right-of-way engineering services in an amount not to exceed $189,673, zero net cost to the city for the widening of McQueen Smith Road from Cobbs Ford Road to US Highway 31 for project number DEMO-STPAA-A203. Councilor Brown, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas the City of Prattville has identified the need to widen McQueen Smith Road from Cobbs Ford Road to US Highway 31, and whereas the City of Prattville has entered into an agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation to have this work performed, and whereas the Alabama Department of Transportation requires preliminary and right-of-way engineering services for this work, and whereas the Alabama Department of Transportation has approved Volkert and Associates Incorporated to perform these duties, and whereas the Alabama Department of Transportation will reimburse the City of Prattville for 100% of said cost. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Prattville hereby authorizes and empowers the mayor to enter into an agreement with Volkert and Associates Incorporated to perform preliminary and right-of-way engineering services for the widening of McQueen Smith Road from Cobbs Ford Road to US Highway 31 in an amount not to exceed $189,673, zero net cost to the city, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2016 budget line item Capital Project Fund Miscellaneous Contract Services. Be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Prattville does hereby authorize and empower the mayor of the City of Prattville to execute any and all documents necessary to have this work performed for and on behalf of the City of Prattville. So move, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Will there be any discussion on this item? All in favor of adoption signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. Item number 3 is to name the football field located at Stanley Jensen Stadium as the Kevin Turner Field. Councilor Starnes, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas the City Council of the City of Prattville desires to name the football field located at Stanley Jensen Stadium after Kevin Turner. And whereas Paul Kevin Turner was born on June 12, 1969 in Prattville, Alabama. And whereas Kevin Turner attended Prattville High School and was a member of the 1984 Prattville High School championship team. And whereas Kevin Turner was a star running back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And whereas Kevin Turner continued his football career in the National Football League, playing 3 seasons with the New England Patriots and 5 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. And whereas Kevin Turner was diagnosed in 2010 with ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease and devoted his time to the Kevin Turner Foundation to bring attention to ALS and sports-related traumatic brain injuries. And whereas Kevin Turner lost his courageous battle with ALS at the age of 46 on March 24, 2016. And whereas Kevin Turner was a loving husband, father, son, and friend who demonstrated courage and inspiration throughout his life. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that in the honor of the life of Kevin Turner, the football field located at 460 Doster Road will hereafter be named the Kevin Turner Field at Stanley Jensen Stadium. So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Be any discussion? All in favor of adoption signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. At this time, we have comments from persons present on other items of interest not on tonight's agenda. Anyone wishing to speak on any item, please raise your hand. Yes, sir.
My name is Steve Boyette, 734 Smith Avenue. I'm here tonight just to really give the council an update on what has happened since I was here last time, requesting help in slowing folks down around intermediate school. Sometime about 2 weeks ago, I was in the hospital, I don't know exactly when. When I got home, there was one of the radar signs that tells you how fast you're going had been installed on the westbound traffic side. We requested that they not flash the speed, so we just wanted to record the speed so we could get a true idea of what was going on. They did that, and I have not privy to the information that is gathered yet, but as of yesterday and today, there was a large police presence in the area. I saw several vehicles stopped for the first time in years. And I just wanted to thank the council for doing whatever it took to get someone up there and address this situation. I believe if we continue this, and the police department's made a believer out of folks on Memorial Drive and up behind the old skating rink was, and Sheila Boulevard, just by their presence and being firm. And I think we can do the same thing here if we'll just let all these people know that they're just flying through there. I know it's worked some because I've seen them come through flying, and things got their, captured their speed. By them not seeing the speed they're going at, they don't slow down for it. If you turn it on, I can tell an immediate difference in traffic speed because they see the sign, they realize what they're doing, they slow down. So what we need to do is make them realize it in their pocketbook to slow them down. I just wanted to thank the council for whatever it did to get it started again. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Mr. Bowles.
Steve, I know that your end goal is trying to put a stop sign on there. Robbie, I think we voted on some type of formula of how to put a stop sign out if it would qualify for a stop sign.
Well, we had a traffic calming policy, didn't not exactly address stop signs, but that is one of the areas.
Okay, could we see if we could look at that one more time about putting a stop sign there?
In my opinion, the stop sign, they would at least know that it would break the speed. They couldn't get quite the head of speed. But there again, it would take an enforcement issue to make sure they stop at the stop sign.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Evening, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Mayor. I come here tonight because, and I know you're working on this, but I didn't hear, was there a denial or a continuation? And I don't know what the status is of the sidewalk situation. And if, before I leave tonight, I hope I can get some clarification on that as to where we stand on that. But I will make this statement. By the way, my name is Eddie Barnes. I reside at 762 Stableford Trail. I apologize. I should have told you first. But my question on that issue is this. If there is a denial, then I think that denial should be where the public can read it, okay? And the reason for that denial should be published, okay? And that's all I'm requesting on that. But if you can give me a better understanding if that request is denied or it's a continuation of where we stand on that, please.
I'm going to ask the street committee chair if she would like to address that. If she does, and if not, I'll do my best.
We don't vote at our committee meetings. With the Open Meetings Act, only 3 of us can be there at a time. It's just a law. So what we did was hear the opinion of the city attorney and the reasons that this ordinance is in place as it's written. And his firm recommendation was that we not alter this. It's been in place prior to 1971, and the state of Alabama set up this code for cities such as ourselves. The reason for it is for protection of the city and for the health of the city long term, as far as the liability the city would assume and the insurance rates that we could possibly assume, and even the possibility of having to move to private insurance that would cause the cost to be astronomical to the city. So from a financial standpoint, it was recommended to us not to take such a step. I think I can't speak for the entire council. I can only speak for myself. But before I would take a step like that could endanger the future of the city, I would certainly give it a great deal more thought. I would not be able to move forward to make any changes at this point. And I can only speak for myself, but other committee members might could tell you what their thoughts were.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment on that, please?
Yes, you may.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. However, that is an issue that pertains to every resident of this, citizen of this city, right? And it's such an issue because I don't know about you guys, but when an individual resident gets sued, even if he's right, he goes through you know what, right? And he can never recover, right? So that is our concern in Highland Ridge about that issue. That's the reason why the residents brought it up, right? So again, I guess I want to make myself clear here, and I'll go away, right? It's still in works, correct?
As I said, we can't vote on it at that street committee meeting. So all we could do is hear the opinion, and we can discuss it individually. We can't, until it were brought up by ordinance. I personally don't, to bring it up myself, I don't feel like it's something I could recommend today. If somebody else wanted to recommend that, if Councilor Starnes felt like he could, that's, it would have to be brought up by one of us individually to go further.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand because I'm kind of confused. I'm sort of confused here. It is not dead.
Let me just say this, and I think I making clear it up, and I may not. I may mess it up even more. As soon as this meeting is over, because there's not going to be a vote.
Sure, I understand.
So there's not going to be a vote.
I understand.
The information that you are seeking, you can seek it as you were discussing, I believe, over to the side with these council members once this meeting is over, and they can give you that information. Or you can invite them to the Highland Ridge Association, and they can, clarify more there. But I would suggest that you just meet with them once the meeting is over.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you all very much. Okay. Have a good day.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Tatum. I reside at 1218 County Road 57. I come to you today in front of the City Council, Mr. Mayor. What I want to speak about is by the primary school of Northern and 3rd Street, where they are during school hours, there are traffic that is blocking the intersection and imposing where people that pull up to the intersection cannot see from either way. And it causes a very hazardous position when people try to pull out or people oncoming traffic almost collide. I almost got hit myself the other day because I could not see. Also, the school traffic is going through the cemetery to avoid going around, and it's causing a lot of traffic and commotion going in and out of the cemetery. So I was wondering what can be done to this. Is there something, a sign that can be put up saying, hey, don't be going, just because this is cemetery, just because this is a shortcut to the other side, please do not be taking traffic in and out of here.
I don't think there's a decision that can be made for you at this time, but as with anything else, the mayor is listening there. I'm sure he's taking note of what you have just said, and I'm sure he would, have that looked into. And if you'd like to speak to it now, fine, but I'm sure he would have that situation looked into.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. With that, Mayor, you have any closing comments?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I hadn't recognized we do have some of the Turner family in the council chambers here tonight, and I know Kevin Turner was well loved in this community, and it's one reason why Councilor Starnes moved forward on this. And so I want to say congratulations to the family. Kevin was a special person, and he is definitely loved in this community. Thank you, council. Thank you, council, for everything that you have done tonight. Department heads, city employees, thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Striplin? No, sir. Councilor Brown?
No, sir.
Councilor Starnes?
No, sir.
Councilor Whiteside?
No, sir.
Councilor Bowles?
Yes, sir. I wanted to say a quick thank you to the city employees that have put in many hard hours to bring this tournament here. Coming in and out of the city looks really, really good. Going down 6 looks really good. And Ms. Lee, thank you for everything you do, because without your 110% that you put in it, I don't know if we'd still have this. And I want to tell you, I really appreciate everything you've done over the years to keep it here. And the city really, without the city employees, they wouldn't be back. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilor Boone?
No, sir.
Let me take this opportunity, as always, to thank everyone, all city employees, the mayor, the council members, for the work that you're doing. Sometimes the work is not appreciated, and a lot of time it's appreciated. That goes with territory. I encourage the committees, street committee, public safety, all committees to continue doing your diligence and meeting to discuss issues that we have to make decisions on prior to having a meeting, and that's what make things go smoother here. A lot of time people think we just raise our hand and everything is settled, but there are a lot of meetings that goes on behind the scenes. So I thank you guys for doing that. Again, thank you all, and at this time I hope and pray that everyone have a safe journey home. With that said, our next council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 17th, 2016, 6 p.m. in these chambers. We have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. This meeting adjourned.